Hello, my dear students. I am Dadajanova A.K, teacher at the National University of Uzbekistan, Foreign Philology faculty. So this video lesson is done special for first-year students to develop their speaking skills. So let's look at the video lesson. So the theme of today's lesson is books. Book reading. Reading helps in all-around development of a person from birth to death. It adds new sights to eyes and new wisdom to mind. So in today's presentation, in today's video lesson, you will look at good sides of reading, purpose of reading, and also types of books, and also some kind of genres of books. So let's get started. Purpose of reading: to develop speech and language. Reading stimulates the thoughts and cultivate natural curiosity. Someone will never feel alone if he or she reads a book. Brings radical change in the outlook of a person. And also, tranquility is distinctive identity of the person who engages himself with a book. So let's look at the old habits of book reading. When I was at the university as a student girl, I can remember that we went to the library to read a book. We borrowed it or we bought it, and with my friends we read a book, especially in libraries. It was just relaxing, very good. But what about nowadays? Now, a few of us follow the traditional way of reading books, taking real books. But nowadays we are using another things. So modified devices for reading, for example, our laptop, computers, ebook readers, smartphones. But there's a good side of it also. So we're still enthusiastic in reading books. Though we are using technological advancements, we still are interested as book in reading different types of books. Reading is always helpful only if your eyes are not blindfolded and your mind is not free as a bird. Now let's look at the types of book. Generally, there are two types of book: fiction and non-fiction books. Non-fiction books are mostly biographies or autobiographies, or some kind of books that contains facts. Fiction books, most commonly read works. So fiction books are ones that have been made up. Perhaps they can be based on some kind of truth hints, but they have been elaborated, fabricated, and used to embellish into a new story. There are some common genres of fiction books. Let's look at them. So it can be drama, composed in words of prose, usually for theatrical performance, so based on dialects and action. Or classic books widely taught in the schools, comic or graphic novels, crime detectives, where what is about a committed some kind of crime, how the criminals get caught them, or fables, and also fairy tales. These kind of books are especially written for children. Fan fictions, fantasy, some kind of books, historical fictions, events are based on historical settings, and also horror books, fiction in which events evoke a feeling of dread and sometimes fear in both characters and readers also. So humor, these kind of books are usually written to raise readers' mood, to make them laugh and relax. So legend, some about national or folk heroes, magical realism, mystery, and mythology. So realistic fiction, story that is based on true life stories, science fictions, short stories that we usually read, or thriller, tell-tale, or western, some kind of books. So now let's look at the common genres of non-fiction books. The first type of non-fiction genre is biography, autobiography about some kind of person's life. The next one is essay, a short literary composition that reflects the author's outlook or a point. The next, narrative non-fiction books, factual information presented in form which tells a story, and also speech, public address, or discourse. and also laboratory, some kind of reports of experiments, or some kind of doctor scientist reports, textbook, reference book, and self-help books. So now you have to be ready and attentive, so come closer because we are going to find an answer to some questions. So I'm going to read you some description of books. You have to find what type of book is it. So a book or electronic resource that lists the word of a language and gives their meaning or gives equivalent word in different language. And also providing information about pronunciation, origin, and usage. So what kind of book is it? You are right, this is dictionary. So this is type of a book that contains stories told in pictures. This is very popular type of book, especially for children. What is it? Yes, it is comics. A fictionist prose narrative of book length, typically representing characters and actions with some degrees of realism. It is a relatively long work of a narrative fiction, normally written in prose form, which typically published as a book. For example, if you couldn't find kўникмалари is a very good example for this type of book. Novel. So next, an electronic version of a printed book which can be read on a computer or specifically designed handheld device. Yes, you are right. This type of book is e-books. So next one, a book used as a standard work for the study of particular subject, or book used for the study of a subject, or people use to learn facts, lessons about some kind of subject, sometimes have questions to test the knowledge and understanding of the learners. So what type of book? So you use it every day, dear students. Yes, this type of book is textbooks. So this type of textbook that has only practice questions and exercises. This is designed not to teach but to prove to prove practice and to highlight areas with need more learning, to revise everything what you had during your day, helpful for your extra book for your textbook. So what is it? You are right. This type of book is workbook. So books are sets of book giving information on any subject or many aspects of one subject and typically arranged alphabetically. If you write something, here you can find a lot of information about that thing. So what is it? Yes, you are right. This is encyclopedia. So now let's look at the pictures and find what kind of book is it. So this is detective stories. You are right. What about this one? This is romance book. The next one, it's easy to find, so fairy tale. So the next one, what it can be? Fantastic book, fantasy. So this is the end of my lesson. I hope that my lesson was interesting. You get a lot of interesting information to you. So at the end of my presentation, my video lesson, I want to tell that reading a book gives us somewhere to go when we stay where we are. So in this kind of a difficult period of time, let's read a book, and through books we can travel all around the world. So thank you for your attention. Goodbye with you, Dadajanova A.К.